And I think we were talking, you said you've saved people over $500,000?
Yes, we estimate that we've saved people on their insurance or just kind of we design plans.
Right.
So we're designing different strategies and plans for them. We've saved them about $500,000 total.
Amazing, yeah.
I know, it's so cool.
Hi, I'm Carrie Murphy, and welcome to Spotlight, where we highlight extraordinary entrepreneurs and their story. And I am so excited to bring you Miss Debbie Hoffman today because when it comes to insurance, probably something you don't think about a whole lot until you have to. It's one of those things we know we all need, and yet none of us really understand. And it wasn't until, as a single mom, I had to sit down and make some big decisions for myself and my daughter that I really understood the value of what Debbie brings, not only me and my family, but all of her clients. And I really wanted her to share her story and her amazing values and concepts with you today. So, Debbie, thank you so much for joining us. You know I'm a big fan.
I love it. I'm humbled and very happy to be here. This is really exciting for me.
Let's just say one thing. Like insurance, most people don't think, like, first of all, why am I watching an interview about insurance? No. And it's not very sexy. And yet, it's one of those things, whether it's open enrollment or not, that every single one of us need, and so few of us understand. And that's kind of your tagline, right?
It is. It's whenever somebody asks me, what is it that you do? And we always have the same response. We help people with the two things that everybody gets and nobody understands. And it's basically what we consider Obamacare and Medicare.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's not the sexiest thing in the world, but when you can save money or make money, it becomes really sexy, or when you put your family in a better position.
Right. Yeah, I think people look at the short term without looking at the long term or really understanding the ramifications, right, of choosing the wrong plan. But before we talk about insurance plans, because trust me, you're going to want to hear what Debbie has to say because the culture that she has created within your company is amazing. I've worked with insurance agents my whole life, and you bring something so different to the table. But before we go there, I want to hear more about your story. You had a background in finance. You kind of started over, right, when the recession hit for all of us, and we're looking at what am I going to do next. So can you kind of like take us back there and how you actually got into this place today where you have the culture and team that you do?
Absolutely. It was a little bit of a long process, and one that I loved financial planning. I loved it. I really did. And it's a different avenue. It's a different business. You have to go after people. You have to make them do things. And I didn't like that part of it. But right. I loved numbers, and I liked putting people in a better health and wealth position than before I met them.
Yeah.
And then 2008 hit, the recession, a divorce, moving. I physically moved myself out here, and then had to decide what is it that I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
And you weren't in your 20s then?
No, definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I had just turned 50.
Wow.
When it all
Listen
happened.
to that, like starting over at 50.
Absolutely.
That is remarkable.
And scary.
Yes.
Very, very
and
frightening.
Scary, sure.
Very frightening. And so I looked at different avenues and different things, but I'm kind of an entrepreneur by nature, and getting a real job was kind of something that I wasn't real excited about.
Yeah.
And so I kind of tapped into my spiritual part of myself and learned some tools, and kind of gave up the control of trying to fit myself into a box. And what came about from that was what's under my own feet. And I had to really meditate and think about that. What's under my own feet? I still had my insurance license. I gave up my financial planning license, but I still had that. And so amazingly, in the next few weeks, people would come into my life here and there, and Medicare kept coming up. Have you ever thought about Medicare and offering Medicare? I'm like, Medicare? No, I can't understand that.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
My mom's on it, and she came with this huge pile of mail one day and said, here, what do I do? I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm a financial planner.
Right, I don't know what to do with your mail, Mom.
I have no idea what to do for your insurance.
Yeah.
And whose shoulders was that going to fall on the next year if I helped her make the wrong decision?
Right, absolutely, that sense of responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought about it and thought, wow, I really enjoy helping people. I mean, I think my mission, my personal mission in life is helping everybody reach their own goals and dreams. And so I thought, wow, if I could learn this, because it's so confusing, make it easy for someone else to know it and understand it and take them through that journey very easily, hey, I might be on to something.
Yeah, I think that's probably 3/4 of America right now, and
probably.
a lot of us too that have parents that are aging, they are looking to get help in that area, and many of us don't know where to turn to help them, again, decipher what's right for them, make sure they're making the right decision. So it's so funny though that it's like you gave up control and was looking at what's right there, and then when you got clear on that, because I know you're very spiritual and driven, like the right people started coming in, asking you these questions, and at one point, did you be like, okay, is this serendipitous, or is this just luck, or is this what I'm supposed to do? Like, is that kind of what spurred the whole building of the company?
Yeah, it was really kind of amazing, because after about the third person in a couple of weeks came, I'm like, okay,
I get the sign. I get it.
Yes. I need to look at this. Okay, what's under my own feet?
Yeah.
And the other thing that kept coming up was education. I'm like, am I supposed to go back to school? What is that? So with those two things, I'm like, education. I can make it easy for somebody. I can educate people. We could take them on this journey, and they don't have to spend 80, 120 hours trying to decipher everything and still not be sure.
I'm telling you what, Debbie. Now, as a busy mompreneur, but it doesn't matter. Like, you go to the website, you're looking up no matter what state you live in, you're trying to go through all the plans, the amount of time that takes, plus, again, knowing, okay, on the short term, it says this, on the long term. And again, you showed me an analysis on a spreadsheet of all the different plans. And the one that I thought was right was not at all the right plan in the long run. Like, we might be saving more, or we're spending so much more, thinking we're getting so much more out of it, where we're really not. So this is where your financial background really comes into play too, is that you love numbers and you love helping people save money. And I think we were talking, you said you've saved people over $500,000?
Yes, we estimate that we've saved people on their insurance or just kind of we design plans.
Right.
So we're designing different strategies and plans for them. We've saved them about $500,000 total.
Amazing, yeah.
I know, it's so cool. But then we've also, because of my financial planning background, we've made people about that much. I used to be an expert in Social Security maximization. So as I'm talking to somebody about their Medicare, we're having to know about, are you on Social Security? Are you taking any of these benefits yet? And one of my friends, actually, an acquaintance, I'm talking to him about his Medicare insurance, and we got to talking about that he was married before, that his wife passed away 3 years ago. And of course, my financial planning hat goes on immediately, and I went, are you collecting your survivorship benefits from Social Security? And he's like, what? I said, well, you were married for 17 years, right? He could literally collect what his ex-wife or his deceased spouse would have gotten at her age 66, her full retirement age. And he was just tearing up when I told him about this. And I'm like, well, why is this so emotional? I mean, she's your ex-wife, right?
Right.
And he said, my 17-year-old daughter she had the hardest time with her mom passing away. And she called me last night and said, Dad, I think I've decided to go back to school now, and I want to go to Yale. Would you be able to help me?
Wow.
And he was kind of like, well, I can do some things, he said, but now I estimated that he was going to get about $2,500 a month. And so he's like, that's going to go to her for her school. And then I said, and by the way, there's a little tip you don't know about too. They'll go back 6 months, so you'll get probably about $13,000 to $14,000.
That's a nice little surprise. Yes.
And not a lot of people know those things.
Right.
So I think that's probably what makes us I always call us a little insurance agent with a cherry on top. Because
with wings. I think you're insurance agent with wings.
Little angel wings, I love that. So we always are looking for beyond, as I like insurance and beyond.
Yeah.
Because we're always looking for how we can put them in a better position.
Yeah.
And
and unfortunately, I think when it comes to insurance agents, like either we don't think we need one, or like we feel like it's a very biased opinion based upon what they get on the back end. Same thing with financial planners, by the way.
That's
right?
true.
So the way that you have constructed your company now, it's like you're completely unbiased. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. And we have something called the Betty Barometer. My mom's name is Betty. And so the whole company was really founded on the fact that we want her to be treated just like we would if we weren't here. And if she's in the right plan, we don't want somebody to move her just because they generate a commission. And unfortunately, that happens a lot in this business. So we're out to change the world and change the way people look at insurance agents. Because, we were kind of like right there with used car salespeople at one time, right?
Yes, sadly but true. Yeah.
But ask the people that I found one client, $53,000 in Social Security. And I guarantee you she would say that we're not on that same level anymore.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You wouldn't be on this show if that was the case as well. You go above and beyond to serve.
Exactly. And we really pride ourselves on the fact that we find out where everybody is in their current life with their medical, because some people really need some definite medical attention and they're in the wrong plan, or they're on a group plan. Is it the right thing for them? Should we be moving them? If it's the right thing, we're going to tell them, you are just perfectly fine where you are. Right. Don't let anybody change you. You just call us and we're your advocate.
So the fact that you work with people who aren't even clients yet, I think are just so amazing, because you have this ability and this heart to just serve people. And because of that too, you've also built a really incredible team, where most of the time when you're working with an agent, you're working with one person.
Exactly.
So can you just tell us a little bit from the entrepreneurial now point of view, how you went from a business of one, Debbie Hoffman Insurance, to her insurance with a team of agents?
It was, again, one of those things that it almost did happen by itself, because I put the intention out that I wanted to serve as many people as I could.
Right.
Well, I can only
serve as many people as you can.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's only so much time in the day.
Right.
And so, again, having that spiritual part of me that said, all right, if I'm supposed to be doing this, something else, then bring the people to me. Bring who needs to be also sharing this good news of what we do. And amazingly, they did. It's amazing how it works.
Well, it really is. It's just a testament to, and it might sound a little airy-fairy, but really the testament to intention, of manifesting, of trusting that when you put something out there into the world, good or bad, it is what you attract back. And I have to say, I feel like you're such a great organic example of that, of hey, I have this idea. I'm not going to force my way in, but I'm going to be very clear on what I want to attract, and the people start coming to you.
It's crazy.
I mean, I've known you for quite some time, and it continues to grow, and people continue to seek you out because of the culture that I think that you're creating.
I really think that's probably the most important part, because again, how many insurance agents do they have out in the country?
A lot.
Right now.
Yeah.
And so for us to stand out as the company that is going to want to take over my insurance, or my mother or my father's, or help me with this process, is amazing. So right now we have 8 agents. But I tell you, I don't know if we're going to stop at 8 agents. It really
I have a
is
feeling probably not. I'm just going to say probably not. Yeah.
And then the most important thing to me also was the fact that we have a back office staff. And I call them my back office angels, my aftercare angels.
See, insurance agents with wings. Yes.
There you go. Think about that. Oh, yes. And they literally take from soup to nuts. They help everything. They support what we do. If a client needs an ID card, or if we have maybe an older client that has a little bit of dementia, they keep calling and calling and calling. They'll sit on the phone with them as long as they have to. We just, when you have a claim, for instance, and you don't know who to turn and nobody's helping, we would rather you sit on the phone with us and let us sit on the phone with the insurance company than to do it all.
I think we'd all like that. Yes, yes. And again, it's this, we talk a lot too in my masterminds and, working with other 7 and 8 figure women business owners, the importance of values and culture within an organization. At the end of the day, there's 7 billion people on the planet. There's many people doing what we do, But the thing that's going to differentiate us, Debbie, and again, what you've done such a great job doing, is creating a value system and a culture within your organization that you're either attracting the right people or you're not. And I think that is really, there's your secret. I would have to say, from knowing you as long as I have and seeing what you continually put out there, it's who you commit to be as a mentor, as a role model, as a voice for people, and I think that I don't know, I'd like to think that in this world today that's a unique differentiator that's allowing businesses to thrive. Would you say so?
Absolutely. And wouldn't you think, though, that should be the norm?
You would think, and unfortunately it's not. Right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I found.
Yeah, at the end of the day, insurance, and not just insurance, but anyone who's just at the dollar, right, just wants to get the sale.
Exactly. And when I first was enlightened to this business, and the 3 people were after me, I'm like, okay, I get it.
I get it.
I'll do it. My spreadsheets have spreadsheets, by the way. I just want you to know. And I've got yours waiting.
It's a spawn of spreadsheets.
It's crazy how many. So I just put numbers to it. I mean, we do not charge a fee. We do not charge a broker fee for our services. And I wanted to have that clear, that people understood that, because there are a lot of agents out there that do charge a broker fee, plus they get commission from the companies.
Right.
And so we chose not to do that, even if we don't make money on someone. I've had somebody I've been working with since 2011 when I first started the business, and he was okay in his employer group plan, and he just went on to Medicare. So I finally, after all these years,
that's a long time.
of keeping in touch with them and talking, hey, are you ready?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm ready now.
Yeah.
And so when I first started working with other agencies out there back in 2011, I got a little disgruntled at what I was seeing and some of the things that were transpiring. I just knew things could be different, but I didn't know how. So again, putting my faith and my trust into this process of letting it all happen, and it just evolved. It's who we are. Everybody that works for us, more than anything, has huge hearts. We have to.
Yeah.
Because
well, if they're anything like you, Debbie, that is extremely apparent.
Oh,
and again, what I love about this time with you is that, yes, we're talking about insurance, but at the end of the day, this is about trusting yourself. It's about trusting your intuition. It's about, putting out there and committing to being the type of person that attracts those things that you want into your life, and so, yes, if you're in the California area, and actually you're licensed in 14 different states.
Yeah, I think we're
so everyone's going to be like, I want some Debbie Hoffman, but not everyone is in this area or in one of those states. Can you give us some suggestions on what someone would do if they're in a place where they are questioning if they have the right plan for themselves?
Absolutely. And, when I'm going to call it Obamacare because it's just kind of a catch-all for under 65 individual and family plans. When that came about, I was like, oh my God, that's something else I got to learn. I can't do that right now because Medicare was so involved. Just knowing all the rules of Medicare was involved enough.
Right, I can imagine, yeah.
But then all of our clients, my daughter, my son, my spouse, they're all now having to make these choices, and they didn't know what to do. So I'm like, okay, I get it.
Another sign, yes.
One. So we dove into that part of the health insurance at a time when commissions were being cut down to about 1%. From 20 down.
From 20. That's a big pay cut.
That's a huge pay cut. And a lot of agents that specialized in it, they said, that's it. We're not going to be doing this. I'm out. And so, but we're like, oh my God, what do they do then? They've got to learn it. We got to know. We got to help these people out. Yeah. And so we learned about what to do for the exchanges. And in California, it's called Covered California. And so we totally enveloped what happens and what puts people in a position to be able to get a subsidy. And a lot of people are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
They're 1099 and they have their own businesses, and they don't understand that their expenses can be written off, and then the net is what determines whether the government can help you out with your premium. So that brought up a lot of more financial planning, again.
Yeah, got to tap right into that.
I know taxes a little bit.
Yeah.
So
helpful, this background you have, Debbie. Yes.
It does help.
Yeah.
It really does. And so again, there's not that out there. I wish when my mom came to me with that pile of mail that there was somebody I could call and go, can you save me like 2 weeks worth of investigating?
Right, yes.
And there wasn't anything that I felt like I could trust.
Right. So what do people do?
Well, they just kind of hope and pray. And hope is not a strategy, I
Yes,
know,
no,
but they
yeah.
kind of hope and pray that they just make the right decision. But right now, if you're in a different state, we definitely can help and we can guide you. I just helped one of my friends retire. He didn't think he would be able to retire early, and he lives in Louisiana, and I'm licensed in Louisiana. So working with his financial planner and his CPA, we figured out a way that he could get a subsidy because he wasn't working anymore. Mm-hmm. So he was living on his non-qualified money, the savings that he had put away, and now he got to retire at 63 versus waiting until he was Medicare age 65, and we saved him $17,000 a year.
Wow, that's significant. Yeah.
In premiums because of the rules. We don't make the rules.
Right.
We just live by them. Yeah. We just know the rules.
Such is life, right? We don't make the rules, we just live by them. Debbie, thank you so much for sharing, like, your heart, what you do. I think that, again, we all need insurance. If you're in a place in your life where I was, where I didn't want to give the time or the energy, and I certainly didn't know all the ins and outs of all of these plans that we have, please reach out. We'll put a link right here where you can reach out to Debbie's company. But also, I hope you're really inspired by this, that, here is an incredible woman that started over in her 50s, really looking at what was around her, what was right under her feet, and really just put it out there, knowing with intention that it was going to come back. Debbie, what would be like your number one piece of advice for someone in life right now who feels like they're ready to do something new?
Ooh, wow. I'd say get a good spiritual coach, number one. I don't care what faith you are.
Yeah.
I think that was probably primary for me. And then allowing things to happen, trusting the process.
So getting out of force. Getting more into flow.
Way.
Yeah.
Getting out of my own way. I think that was probably, I was still living by my particular goals and dreams, which was to help everybody else and put them in a better position than before I met them. I always wanted to be right there with my goals and my mission statement. And then just trust. At some point, you got to let go and let it be. Thank you. Thank you for all that you do for everyone that you serve here. And again, thank you for watching this Spotlight interview. We would love to hear from you. So please post your comments and take a moment right now and share this with someone, because there is someone who is going through insurance hell or they're on a new path and need to be reminded of the power of intention and manifestation and really holding your dreams front and center in your life. Debbie, again, thank you so much for all that you do. And remember to keep dreaming it, living it, and being it. Until next time.